The principles of trauma-informed practice are important for anyone working within a role where you may interact with other people. Within this resource, we aim to share why it is that being trauma-informed matters and how understanding these hidden factors that can influence human behaviour can help us to foster compassionate interactions. This visual from the National Trauma Transformational Programme explains why responding to trauma is everyone's business, as opposed to just those who are working in specialist or therapeutic roles. Trauma refers to an emotional response to distressing or life-threatening events. This can include abuse, neglect, accidents, or the loss of a loved one, as well as smaller, cumulative stressors such as ongoing discrimination or chronic illness. Trauma can deeply impact the way individuals perceive and respond to the world around them, often influencing their ability to trust others, handle stress, and regulate emotions. Traumatic experiences affect most people at some stage in life, yet we often won't know about people's experiences, and the impact of trauma is unique to each of us. By taking a trauma-informed approach, we can use universal principles to help us to recognise the impact trauma may be having on the people we aim to work with and respond in a way that supports recovery and does not cause further harm. Most trauma occurs within a relationship with others, but just as relationships have the power to harm, so they also have the power to heal. Anyone in a role where they interact with others can therefore consider adapting how they work so that 1. You do no further harm, and 2. That the impact of trauma does not create a barrier. This short video, developed by the National Trauma Transformational Programme, explains the impact of trauma further. Please be aware that this resource contains descriptions of abuse which some people may find distressing.
Whenever Mum went away, he would come into my room. He said I made him do it, and that it meant he loved me. It always made me feel powerless, ashamed.
I never knew when an argument would turn into a fight. I was always scared, always on edge, always had to be ready to defend myself.
My late husband was very controlling, always put me down, told me what to wear or cook. He'd get angry if I didn't do things right. I had no choice or control. It made me feel useless. I had no confidence in the end.
So I zoned out, pretended it wasn't happening. It's so difficult to trust people now. I just freeze and float away in my head when I feel powerless.
Now I just get angry a lot, feel like I want to fight. Sometimes I worry I'm just like him.
I find it difficult to do things myself, and I get really nervous when I have to talk to new people. I avoid them when I can.
What we went through was traumatic because we were harmed, physically, emotionally, and felt like we were in real danger.
Traumatic experiences can be things that happen once, a serious accident or assault.
Or it can be where traumatic things keep happening, like physical or sexual childhood abuse, or domestic abuse, or relationships where you can't be yourself, where you're put down or bullied.
It can make you feel powerless, trapped, or betrayed. The sense of confusion, shame, or fear can be overwhelming, especially if there is no one you feel able to tell. Even after it's over, it's harder to get on with life and feel safe.
Trauma is more common than most people think. Almost 1 in 5 adults has experienced physical or sexual abuse in their childhood.
And more than a quarter of all women have experienced domestic abuse.
Some people recover after traumatic events. Some people aren't affected as much. Having good, safe, supportive relationships with other people can really help. But lots of people continue to be affected by trauma, sometimes long after it happened.
For most of us, traumatic or adverse childhood experiences like these affect our body's response to stress, affecting our physical health as well as our mental health. The impact of trauma can also make it harder for us to learn and to realise our full potential.
One of the most worrying things about the experience of trauma is that it can make us avoid people and places, even if they are there to help, like doctors, teachers, social workers, carers, colleges,
councils, community centres, employers, advisors. Because most trauma experiences happen in relationships with other people, we can find it difficult to trust people or feel safe. And sometimes the way we react to help ourselves feel safe pushes people away and makes it even harder to get the help we need.
It's like our brains learn survival tricks to get us through the trauma at the time, like priming us for danger.
Making us run away.
shutting down when we feel upset.
It might look like we have a short fuse, like we're unfriendly, or we're just a bit absent.
Anything, however small, that reminds us of that trauma can set off our own unique trauma response to protect ourselves, making us avoid the people and places that we need the most. Like you. But there are things you can do to help me trust you enough so I feel safe and I don't shut down or avoid you. You can offer me a different relationship that doesn't remind me of the one I had when I was a kid. One where I feel safe, I feel empowered, and I have choice and control over what happens to me. One where we work together and I can trust you. This is called being trauma-informed in the way you work.
Being trauma-informed means thinking about what will make me feel safe. It might mean offering me choice over the sex of the person offering me care or support, especially if it involves intimate care or examinations.
Unfortunately, your usual care worker Heather's off sick. We'll be sending someone else instead. Do you have any preferences about who comes instead?
Well, I'd feel more comfortable with someone I've met before. Most importantly, I'd like a woman.
Well, how about June? She's worked with us for 3 years. If there's anything you'd like her to do that Heather normally does, just ask.
Trauma-informed means empowering me to have control and take an active role in what happens to me.
We know some people don't like coming to the dentist, so is there anything that you're worried about or scared of? I can tell you each step I'm doing, so there are no surprises if you'd like. If you need me to stop, how will you tell me?
Trauma-informed means helping me to trust you by being clear about what will happen, doing what you say you will do when you said you would do it.
Unfortunately, our advisors are running about 30 minutes late. I'm so sorry about that. Are you able to stay, or can we make another appointment for you?
Many of us at work will have had our own experiences of trauma in our own lives, or we might witness or hear about it in the course of our work. So the same principles apply to all of us. We all need to take care of ourselves by making sure we're safe and connected to the people and activities that matter to us. Can you think of anyone you've met or worked with recently that a trauma-informed approach would have made a difference to? Are there any trauma-informed changes you might make that could make a difference?
So if you offer me safety and choice, if you collaborate with me and empower me and help me trust you, then you will help me work with you. Even if I only meet you once, even briefly, you can give me a different kind of relationship. One where I feel valued and valuable, connected and safe.
And when that happens over and over again with everyone that I meet, I can learn that it's safe to make connections with people.
It is those connections that we all need to access life chances and reach our full potential.
Video shows, it is essential to remember that trauma doesn't just affect a select few. It is much more common than many realise. These experiences can affect the body's response to stress even long after the experience has ended. Trauma may often remain unspoken. This means that it is important to consider that customers, clients, and employees may be silently navigating trauma whilst interacting with others or performing their jobs. For some who have experienced trauma, their behaviour might be more reactive than expected. They may seem easily frustrated, angry, or overly cautious or avoidant, even towards those who are there to help them. These reactions can push others further away, which makes it even harder for the person to get the support they need. What we can do is offer a different type of relationship, one that aims to do no further harm through consideration of the 5 core principles. Safety. People must feel both physically and psychologically safe. This applies to both the physical setting and the interactions taking place within them. Remember that many trauma survivors feel unsafe in uncertain situations. Consider how our interactions could provide certainty or clear expectations. Much of this is built on trust, providing clear and consistent information, doing what you say you will do when you say you will do it. And if you cannot do something, then you are able to explain why. Simple things like waiting on hold for too long or being transferred between departments can trigger feelings of helplessness or panic. Offering clear timelines and explanations can help support this. Collaboration. Often, trauma survivors feel powerless, and so it is important where possible that decisions are made with and not to the other person. This helps people to feel empowered. It's really important to recognise the strengths that somebody has and having belief in the resilience of individuals and their ability to heal and recover. Choice. Clear boundaries are important for felt safety, but within these, people should be supported to make decisions and choices and to set their own goals. This is not about just giving people what they want. Rather, it's about facilitating a degree of choice within the boundaries that exist. Being trauma-informed is not just about being compassionate. It's about understanding the hidden factors that can shape human behaviour and using that knowledge to foster better interactions. This slide shows a number of things that you can do which have the intention of de-escalating an interaction through the use of a trauma-informed approach. You can lower your voice and you can slow down the pace of your speech. Always keep in the back of your mind what might be driving this behaviour that I am seeing. This helps to try to see the person separately from the behaviour that they are displaying. Keeping the human at the centre at all times. In order to do this, it can be helpful to take a pause. This helps to slow down and calm the interaction. Consider if appropriate, is there an opportunity where an issue can be resolved without an audience? If not, can the person be supported to move out of earshot of other customers or service users? You can also put boundaries around interactions that continue to be challenging or unresolved, and you can speak to your line manager or supervisor for support with this. This slide shows some of the examples that you can say when taking a trauma-informed approach to interactions. After listening, you can reflect back to the person a summary of what you have heard them say and ask the person, have I understood you or your concern correctly? Reflection in this way helps avoid misunderstanding. It slows down the interaction and allows opportunity for clarification. It also shows the person that you have listened to what they have said, which can help them feel trust towards you. You can also reflect back to the person the emotion that you are seeing or hearing from them. I can see you're feeling really angry, or I can see that you're feeling frustrated by what's happened. Again, this helps avoid misunderstanding, slowing down the interaction, and allows opportunity for the other person to clarify if that is not the case. Sometimes it's helpful to develop some scripts around scenarios which may arise. This can help people to feel more prepared for how to respond to a challenging interaction. This may be something that you would like to discuss with your line manager and team. It's really important to be transparent and direct. If you cannot do something that has been asked of you, you can be clear about this and explain why this is the case. Offering choice when you can. If the issue is better to be resolved at another time, consider offering choice around a day or time to discuss again. And it's okay to make a mistake. Everybody makes mistakes, and what you can do is you can apologise and offer options to repair the issue. And what can I write if I'm taking a trauma-informed approach to interactions? Well, the most important thing to remember is anything that you write, read back what you write as if someone was writing it about you. That ensures that you keep the humanity at the centre of your interactions, whether they're verbal or written down. I hope that you have found this resource supportive. The key trauma training resources from the National Trauma Transformational Programme are openly available to support all members of the Scottish workforce. You can access these resources by creating a free TURAS account via the link shown. Please also seek support from your line manager or supervisor as required, should you need further support around this topic.